Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host. So I'm here at the global Western Hemisphere headquarters of Prime Inc., the largest refrigerated carrier in the Western Hemisphere. Now I'm here at the Salt Lake Terminal and brought a load out here, and it was it's kind of funny because I just came up with like probably a half a dozen like metaphors for the trailer I was hauling, and it was a trailer out of Shaw, but it was instead of being tile, it was just rolls of carpet. And when I got the load, at first I was told, oh, it's going to have to be transloaded because there's an issue with the trailer. And so when I was in outbound, I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this trailer? Because the last thing I want to do is drive across, Nebraska, Wyoming, into Utah in the middle of March and with a trailer that's sketchy. So the guy in outbound in Springfield tells me, oh, well, it's just because the sides are bowed out. And, I'm like, okay. He's like, but I've seen worse. And, I probably should do a show on all the things people shouldn't say and why they shouldn't say them. Because whenever anybody says, I've seen worse, what immediately goes through my mind is, yeah, but this is still pretty bad. I mean, can you imagine, like, I don't know, your house is on fire and the fire department shows up and the officer on the scene, the chief, whoever he is, the captain, he's like, oh yeah, this house is lit, but I've seen worse. Or, it just doesn't, you're like, well, yeah, but my damn house is on fire. This thing is off. Just let's put the fire out. I know you've seen worse. And so, it didn't give me a lot of confidence. And so as I'm driving across, middle America, I'm looking at my rear view. I actually had to push my mirrors out a little bit because I was like, all I'm seeing is white when I look back there. I'm like, half my mirror is just white side of the trailer. And I always hate it when my truck makes a noise that I've never heard it make before. Anyway, so the first thought, because I was in the Navy, is if you ever seen a battleship like bow on, like the bow's like, the pointy end, right, for you landlubbers, and then but the ship has like 108-foot beam, and don't ask me how I know that, but I do know that the Iowa class battleships had like 108-foot beam. I might check on that later, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct. Anyway, and so the ship, it's pointy, but then it gets really wide as it goes back, and you get, amidships, and it's like a big fat ship. The other thing that I thought of, because where we live in Pennsylvania is just like suburbia, but right across the creek that's behind my house, there's a big farm. And it's a farm, it's Mennonites, and actually all the property back there is like owned by Mennonites, and they're great neighbors and they're lovely people. But it's they have cattle, and every spring the cows are calving. But before they actually give birth, if you ever seen a cow like head on, like she's got this pretty narrow head and then this giant body. And so that was number two. The other one that I just thought of is my trailer looks like an engorged tick. So anyway, I got it here safely. Because the Shaw place is just like around the corner from the terminal. So I came over to the terminal because I got a lot of stuff to get repaired. And I've given this guy a shout out before, But I don't know what Prime's paying him, but you know, in my opinion, his face should be on the side of a couple of trailers. This guy in the shop, Jorge is his name. He's the nicest guy you ever want to meet, but he is so thorough. And he has inspected my truck a couple of different times. And man, if there's anything not completely 100% right, he seems to find it. And I mean, I am really, you know, it's a little scary because the dude has like a steno pad that's like one page is completely filled with stuff that needs to be done. But he's also super familiar with a lot of the warranty issues, and I just really appreciate him, and I always thank him. And you know, last summer I was out here, I gave him some beverages from my truck, you know. So I got, you know, I got several things to do, but it was time. I haven't really been in the shop much. I'm gonna get my drives replaced, drive tires, that is. I'm gonna get my APU fixed and serviced. And somehow I melted the lens on my right side high beam. And the weird thing is I had never changed that bulb, and I went to change it last night, and I was like, man, this thing is screwed up. I did get it to seat in the holder, and then when I started up this morning, you know, the high beam worked, except it was like kind of like pointing down and towards the center, like not going straight. So he's gonna see if he can get that replaced for me. There was a warranty issue with that, but anyway, they're gonna get me in the shop tomorrow. I kind of wanted to run a little bit more for this week, but you know, it is what it is, and it's you know, you gotta take a few minutes off the road to get things fixed. So here's the whole reason, though, I'm telling you about my stay in Salt Lake City is there's just really, I got the best, I think the best news I've heard in a long time. This morning when I got here right around 7:30. So I parked my truck and I was like, I really got to go to the bathroom. So I came through inbound, I zip over and I park and I go inside. I go do my business. I come out and I notice that the cafeteria is open. The Northwoods Grill. I think it's called Northwoods Grill here. I think it's called Northwoods Grill everywhere. I think it should be the Westwoods Grill here, and then Northeast Woods or whatever in Pittston. Anyway, I go in there. It's like, you know, they got breakfast. They're doing stuff made to order. I'm like, wow, this is really great. And then the gal that's working in there mentions that this is the first Sunday that they've been open, and now the cafeteria or the Northwoods Grill, whatever it's called, in Salt Lake City is now open 365, 24/7. That is, I don't come to Salt Lake City all the time, but that is, and you know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it really is, because more than once I've rolled in here on a Sunday, like a Sunday morning or Sunday evening, and been like, man, there's nothing to eat. And really, there's not a lot that's even kind of sort of close here. You know, like there's not much around the terminal like there is, you know, there's a lot of fast food that's pretty close in Pittston if nothing's open. But there's not much out here. Same like in Springfield, you don't have to go very far to find stuff. So that was cool. And the store is open. It's open till 3 o'clock today. And there's some new faces. I don't know why it's so bright, because it's actually snowing, rain snow mix here. But so those are two really positive things, because it might be the last time I was here. I made a video kind of mocking the fact that nothing was open during Trucker Appreciation Month when my trainee Gabe and I were here. So I know I'm facetious a lot of times, but I truly am pleased that you can get food here. The truck wash is open, or I think the guy was at lunch a little bit ago, but I saw a bunch of trucks going in there and getting washed. None of those things the last time I came here on a Sunday were open. No food, no store, no truck wash. So I am very pleased, and you know, let me say this. I appreciate the fact that the issue was addressed. You know, the powers that be, and you know, somebody who was on the DAB mentioned that the issues like with food service especially was something that Mr. Lowe was you know, very interested. Sorry about that. My timer went off for my laundry. So anyway, I appreciate the fact that there's food here now, and other stuff. So anyway, just wanted to share that news with the Prime folks. If you haven't been out here recently, now there's a reason to come back. I mean, the weather, not so much today. And by the way, I saw some, you know, my trip across Wyoming was uneventful. It was pretty nice weather for March in Wyoming. It was a little breezy, but hell, it's Wyoming, right? But starting tonight, what we're having now in Salt Lake City, you know, is going east, and there were a bunch of warning signs about, you know, ice, snow, slush, you know, in that Rawlins through Elk Mountain area. So if you're transiting across 80 today in Wyoming, I mean, if you see this before you go, it's supposed to extend from, you know, Sunday evening through, you know, like lunchtime on Monday. So just be careful out there. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.